Hey everybody, StarCraft here with another week of scrumptious casting. We have my teammate vileHawk in the bottom left as the red Zerg against the Shield in the top left as the blue Terran. I haven't heard of this guy. No idea if he's good or not, but he is very well mannered. That's enough for me. GL have from him. Will Hawk return the favor? We'll have to see. If he doesn't, I'm not going to be casting this game at all, so let's hope so. He does. Do you know which OGS member plays on the OGS account? They all do, yeah. That's the answer, duh. In NA. Not sure why he's asking that. Maybe OGS was practicing on the North American server and they encountered each other? Fought a Terran one. I have a feeling that was fake. I don't think, yeah, like Hawk said, it's probably a smurf. Anyway, the map is Typhon Peaks, I think? Is it Typhon Peaks? I don't even know. I'm trying to remember the maps. I'm trying to learn them. I kind of suck at it. But I'm pretty sure this map is Typhon Peaks. And the Terran, surprisingly enough, opening up with the supply depot. Very interesting opening. Not something you see too often. And I have a feeling he'll get a barracks. There's the barracks! Oh my goodness, we're seeing a supply depot and a barracks. Are we going to see a 15 hats from Hawk? Wow, that was kind of weird. He was too busy typing, so he actually waited until 150 minerals to get his 15th drone. Now sending out one drone to throw down the expansion, one to scout, I'm assuming. I doubt it was not a shield. There's the expansion. I don't see why any OGS players would be playing on the North American server. It doesn't really make sense. Maybe they have to get used to the latency, something like that. I don't know. But there's the gas right after the barracks. Pretty normal opening for the Terran player. And when you're expanding as a Zerg, you have to be careful for 2 racks, especially on a map like this. Look how wide open this is. You put a spine right here. The Marines can run up the ramp. If you put a spine like right here, the Marines can run behind your minerals. It's pretty tricky, so you got to get a lot of lings out early. If your opponent is 2-raxing, Hawk will be able to find this racks, and he'll see just one, but that won't confirm that the opponent is just going a single racks, because you know a lot of Terran players like to create forward raxes or hide their second barracks, stuff like that. So he doesn't feel the safest at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he throws down a spine crawler, you know, gets more than 4 lings, something like that, just because he doesn't have any information on the Terran yet. He scouted the incorrect position twice, bottom right and top right, and now he's finally going to the correct position, and he's going to see a factory, so he's going to be pretty happy about that, I'm assuming. Hopefully he'll see that factory before his pool finishes, that way he knows he doesn't have to make too many Zerglings, and he does see the factory, and he's got to be feeling pretty good. Now, against these Hellions, you can do 2 things as a Zerg to try to defend against the Hellions. Get Speedlings with spines, or maybe just 1 or 2 spines, or like just tons of Speedlings, which is kind of a waste. You really want something other than Speedlings against Hellions. Or you can go Roaches. I like the Roach route. It uses less larva, plus you have that Roach tech should you need it later on. And hopefully Hawk does use the Roach route, take the Roach route. He's getting 1 spine, so that's good. Here comes the first Hellion. He's going to make 1 Hellion before he switches it onto the reactor. Now, I don't think that's a good idea. The reactor is 10 seconds away. The Hellion is 15 seconds away. He'd get more Hellions if he were to switch, just wait for that Hellion and then switch it off, and then start 2 Hellions a little bit sooner than that first Hellion would get out. Or I'm saying the 2 Hellions on the reactor would come out a little bit sooner than the Hellions. You know what I'm saying. Shut up. But anyway, spine is completed. Speed is on the way. Second Hellion now coming. Third? There we go. There's that 3rd Hellion. And we are seeing a command center. So a barracks into reactor factory into an expansion. So this is going to be pretty interesting. He's not going to go for the kill or anything like that. He's just going to try to stall Hawk for as long as he can. Hopefully kill some drones, force some Zerglings, something like that. And then just expand behind it and progress onto normal tech, I'm assuming. Something like Marine Tank, you know. Pretty standard Terran play. Anyway, they are on the way. He's only sending 2. There's the 3rd one. I thought he had 3 Hellions. And we'll see what Hawk does against this. He's only got 1 spine. It's kind of precariously positioned. Like, he can go above that. There's the 2nd spine. And not blocking the ramp. Oh, he blocks it at the last second. Hellion's taking so much damage. This Hellion isn't going to do anything, especially once the speed comes up. So he does get 1 Hellion in, but some pretty good blocking from Hawk. 1 shot on those drones, but there's the speed. Down goes the Hellion. Didn't lose a single thing, so very nice defense there. That spine helped out a bit. His block came just in time. He was able to kill 1 Hellion and then weaken 2 of them, so they weren't really able to do that much. And Shield so far hasn't really been able to accomplish anything with these Hellions. There's a second factory, so we might see some heavy mech play. Might just see Hellion, Thor, tank. That's actually somewhat common, not too common, upgrading into an orbital command. While Hawk, if we check out the units tab, he has 8 Zerglings the entire game. I'm pretty sure he hasn't made any more Zerglings than that. That's pretty damn good. That's going to let him get that early layer, let him get tons of drones, and just out macro his opponent, hopefully. Layer's almost finished. I assume he'll be getting a Spire. And 4 Hellions. Just Terran players continuing to pump Hellions. He's got 1 Marauder out. You might see a Marauder Hellion timing, perhaps. That'd be kind of unusual, especially at this point when he's expanding. Anyway, 5 more Hellions. Do they have Blue Flame? No, they do not. Trying to get around the Spine Crawler, finding the rocks, taking a pot shot at the rocks, and they do get behind the mineral line. This is why you want roaches, people. These Zerglings, oh, almost getting us around, not quite, but these Hellions are going to be cleaned up. Nice positioning, right out of range of that Spine. Killing a lot of Zerglings, but still not the most cost-effective attack. Cost-effective attack. And Hawk got a little bit fortunate that the Zerglings had a nice surround on those Hellions. I feel like they could have been microed a little better. The Hellions could have. Not having to get a Roach Warren so far, and choosing not to get a Roach Warren. Blue Flame, man. Just imagine if those Hellions had Blue Flame, which is completely doable, given, you know, what point in the game it is. We're seeing 2 factories. Okay, 2 factory, 2 starport, 2 barracks, so we might just be seeing a standard opening. I'm kind of surprised he's getting so much infrastructure off of 2 bases that aren't even running at the capacity of 1 base. I guess unless you count the mules. But he's got 2 factory, 2 barracks, and 1 starport. As far as I know, you can't really fund that on 31 SCVs. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. He could be better than me, but look at the money that Hawk has saved up. That leads me to believe there's a Spire on the way. Yes, indeed there is. 3rd base probably coming up. That is a drone. Yeah, this is a great thing about, you know, macro games. Having good macro, I suppose. Oh, it is kind of like his tech lab. Is that it allows you to get that 3rd base while your Spire is training, and you're going to save up so much money and just surge of mutas on the way. So we'll be saying probably 8 mutas here in a second. Spire's complete. Let's see some mutas hash. I mean, not hash. Wow. Hawk. 7 mutas. Where's the 8th muta? 9th muta. Come on, 9th muta. Fine, prove me wrong. Oh, these Zerglings might get us around on these Hellions, and the Hellions are not the greatest against Zerglings without the Blue Flame. And the Terran might actually move out. No, he's not going to move out. Bad thing about this is he is so light on Marines, man. He's only got 8 Marines, and there's about 10 mutas on the way. This is going to be disastrous. He doesn't have an engineering bay as far as I know. No engineering bay, and there's tons of mutas on the way. Oh, this is going to be terrible, terrible, terrible damage. That's not overused, right? Actually, he's breaking down these rocks. What are you doing, Hawk? Go do some harassment, man. Look at what he's got. He doesn't have, like, anything. Just go kill the Marines or something. Hawk repositioning the spines. I like this. And sieging up behind the rocks is shield. That's pretty smart, actually. Since these forces can't really bust through, I'd like to see Hawk go and attack with these mutas. He can always keep an eye on these rocks and make sure, you know, they're not going to be busted down. But he's not doing anything with his mutas. He could do so much harassment right now. And even if the Terran starts breaking down the rocks, he could react in time and send the mutas back. Here we go. Now he might do it. Is he going to go for the harassment or try to pick off some mutas? Picking off reinforcements. This is also a very good technique. Killing about 6 Marines before they are loaded up into the bunker and the other bulk of his army has to fall back. Still, I'd love to see him go for the mineral line. It's almost too late. That engineering bay is complete. Wouldn't be surprised to see a couple turrets in a short while here. Short while. There's some turrets. 3 turrets on the way. Here come the mutas. Are they going to be too late, though? No, they're not. The expansion completely unprotected. Units count, we're seeing 46 to 35 SCVs. Or worker count. Holy cow, and that's what making 40 Zerglings will do to you. Overreacting a little bit. Timing of the push, or, you know, seeing how strong the push is, I think he overreacted a tad. That's a lot of fucking Zerglings, man. Holy jeez. And because of that, because of the threat of that push, Hawk is now pretty far behind. It's 3 base to 3 base. The Terran player has 12 more SCVs than him. And all because Hawk really just overreacted to the push that he was seeing from the Terran. Just imagine, 40 Zerglings. That could be 20 more drones right now. And it would be 55 to 48. Instead, he's pretty far behind. He's got a lot of units, so that should clear him up to drone up pretty heavily. He can easily take out any Terran attack right now. Look at this. This is all the Terran has, is this many Marines all these units, and still no defenses at the expansion. I'm not sure what that's all about. He put 3 turrets in the main, but no defenses at the expansion. I think he assumed that because his army is positioned out here, he can just run into his expansion and save his SCVs, but that's not really the case. Mutas just kill stuff so fast. So much DPS. Especially with the +1 upgrade. But that little harassment and a surge of drones allowed him to pull ahead 53 to 41 now. We've got 3 base to 3 base. This is looking like a pretty hefty macro game. See what the Terran player is doing. Oh, here comes some more mutas. Only 1 turret. That's not going to be enough shield. You can do better than that. Come on. Now 40 to 52 SCVs, continuing to rally tanks. We'll probably just see a really big tank marine push. And a lot of times, whoever wins that first push pretty much determines the outcome of the game. So if Hawk defends it, he'll win. You know, he'll just counterattack depending on how many forces he lives with. And if the Terran pushes and doesn't lose his army, he'll probably just walk into the Zerg's main and win. I don't know if Hawk knows about this base. Yes, he does. I don't know if he did before, but he does now. Lots of mutas. He's doing a pretty good job of saving his mutas. You don't want to get your mutas picked off. That's always your goal when you're doing muta harassment. And nothing too exciting. Ooh, I was going to get excited. There was a Ghost Academy coming up. But no, he will be dropping a second engineering bay. He's got his armory up, so he can't complete his infantry upgrades using that. And almost losing a muta, killing that SCV. Very nice harassment by Hawk so far. And Shield's actually doing pretty well. He hasn't even attacked, yet somehow he's managed to take a 3rd base and scare his opponent into not making as many drones as he should. And now it's 51 drones to, excuse me, 49 SCVs. Not really mining off this expansion. It's kind of weird. I guess just the harassment. He hasn't been able to recreate some SCVs for that base. Here comes a 4th base. Creep spread, somewhat okay. Not the greatest creep spread by Hawk. But here he comes in again, gonna target down this refinery. Refinery now going down. Infestation bit on. Well, these Marines are trying to chase mutas. Mutas are gonna get out of there scot-free. Just like OJ Simpson. That bastard. And wow. Lots of money saved up from Hawk. I have a feeling he might just wait for pathogen glands from the infestors and then just bake a ton of fucking infestors. That's the only reason I can see that he's saving up so many, or he'll get 38 banelings. And if you guys have watched any of my replays, I don't really like people who get tons of banelings. I'd like to see like a 2-to-1 Zergling baneling ratio, but he doesn't really have that many Zerglings. Coming from behind with the Zerglings. Oh, but the Baneling's running in so many tanks. He has no Zerglings to absorb the tank blast, and that's why you don't want to get so many damn Banelings and also send them in without any support whatsoever. I don't know what the hell he was thinking. 4 tanks just killed like 38 Banelings, and only 1 tank was destroyed. What the heck was that? He was trying for some kind of quick, tricky, like, counterattack, like I'll pincer you from behind while my Banelings die in the front, but it didn't even work at all. So cost ineffective. Now he's struggling to reinforce with more Banelings. He needs to get his mutas in there. I don't know where the heck his mutas are. There they are. Banelings rolling in. Need to connect. They are on creep. They're going to be so fast. And finally he cleans up the Marines. But he loses a base and so many units. That left a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, I think, oops, at that point, I think he was just better off sending all of his forces in front. I mean, at least send your Zerglings in first from behind so they absorb the tank fire. You can't just leave your Banelings out to dry like that and have them all get destroyed by tanks. Oh man, but that's part of the reason I don't like getting so many Banelings, is because that kind of thing can happen. When you're better off spending your money on mutas or infestors or something like that. Zerglings are really good too. You don't have to just make tons of Banelings, but you know, there he goes again, making lots of Banelings. Come on, Hawk. Come on, Hawk. You're better than that. Terran now at 65. Comfortable number of SCVs, considering you have mules. Lots of Thors out on the field. 4 Thors, 2 tanks, 28 Marines. 7 infestors, though. Does he have neuroparasites? Can be pretty effective against Thors and tanks. He doesn't have it. Terran still on 4 bases. Planetary Fortress at the northern expansion. Creep spread still pretty sluggish. 1 single creep tumor doing all the spreading. Oh, what are you doing here, Thor? Thor gets picked off. Poor guy. Oh, nice pickup. Nice pickup from Hawk. Not sure what those Thors were doing. Perhaps a miss rally. Maybe he had some decoy plans. Oh, the decoy's gonna work! In comes the main force, scanning for tumors, picking off a couple of tumors, and I have a feeling those are never gonna be replaced the entire game. But there's so many infestors, fungal growth going off on those Marines, every single one of them splattering in a mess of goo and stuff like that. But there's no substantial army here. Where are your mutas? Where are the mutas at? There's some Zerglings. There's no mutas. There's the mutas. No, just go in. Yes, go in. Marines are down in the main doing tons of damage. This is going to be cleaned up. But this Marine's killing every single drone. Is he going to focus down any attack or just kill the drones? He's taking out so many drones. No, it's 36 to 73. Hawk. No. No, Hawk. You've got to fight back. So much money. Start making some mutas or something. Mutas are really good. But he has to replace the drones too. So do you replace drones? Oh, there's a drop down here. I missed it. I missed it. Damn it. Hey, it's early in the morning, okay? I just woke up. There we go. So at the same time all this stuff was happening in the main, we have an 8 Marine drop in the southern expansion. That's why his drone count went down so far, because he killed a couple drones here. You can see their corpses. And left a big mess down there in the main. Oh, that's where all his forces were. He left his banelings at the expansion, and all these drones are just chilling. We're just gonna chill. We're just gonna chill. There we go. Now he's resaturating. Really needs to get those drones on the gas. Actually, he's kind of hurting for minerals. And here come the banelings, 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 banelings. I don't think this is gonna work though. Oh, blasted again. This is why you have decoyed Zerglings. Decoy the blast of the planetary fortress with some Zerglings, and then these banelings actually will kill the planetary fortress as long as you have like 20 or 21 or so, I forget. He's not going to choose to do that. One thing I need to criticize about the Terran's play is after his 4th expansion, he just kind of stopped expanding. There we go. There's that 5th expansion. Yeah, you want to just keep controlling the map and just get tons of money. That's kind of the objective of any StarCraft 2 game, am I right? 7 Broodlords on the way. That's what Hawk was saving his money for. Down goes the gas mineral count, kind of soaring high. 81 to 45. That's way too many SCVs. Way too many SCVs. You're a Terran player. You don't need that many SCVs. You have mules, Brohim. You've got mules. That's a lot of Broodlords. Does he have a reactor? No reactor on his starport. I feel like that would have been a nice investment considering all the medevacs that he's been making for drops and just general army support. But there is no reactor, and Zerg's player's favorite thing in the world is having Broodlords and then the Terran having no response to it. They see, look at this. He's making 1 Viking. Support those Broodlords. Yes! He's supporting the Broodlords like every good Zerg player should. You don't want to just leave them out to dry. Marines, while they aren't the greatest against Broodlords, they can pick a couple off before they die. This is a ton of Broodlords, man. He needs a lot more Vikings. Why am I on ×2 speed? What the fuck? I didn't even realize it for the longest time. There we go. There's that second starport with that reactor there. But is it going to be enough? Infestors are actually a nice support unit for Broodlords in taking out a lot of Vikings because they tend to cluster up pretty closely. And oh my gosh, these Broodlings are just running, charging into the base, losing 1 Broodlord so far. Corruptor's on the way to try to support them with the Infestors, and that's even better than Corruptor or than Broodlord Infestor. Is Broodlord Corruptor Infestor. And what's this Terran player going to do? He's got a lot of tanks. He's very smart. He's not sieging up Hawk. Hawk is going to be so mad that I keep calling him Hash. Hawk is expanding once more in the east side of the map. These mutas aren't really doing a lot. These mutas could just run in and probably kill these Vikings. There's not too many Marines close by, but there we go. Now he's going in. Down go the Vikings with the assist of fungal growth, but there are more training. 3 more on the way. 5 more Marines. You'll notice the Terran player isn't getting anything else, just Marines and Vikings. He realizes how critical it is that he takes down these Broodlords. I'd like to see a couple Thors, you know. Maybe he can't really, I guess he doesn't really have the gas for that, so maybe not. Maybe a couple more barracks, though. And these Broodlords, while being super, super cost effective, are about to fall. These Vikings are getting no support from Marines. And this is doing the damage it needs to do. There's the reinforcements, Lings, Infestors moving in, but there's so many tanks. I would like to see him not attack right now, but it's going to do the job. So many Zerglings dying, no infested Terrans or fungal growth going off at all. I feel like if he just waited a couple more seconds for these tanks to die from the Broodlords, he would have been a little better off. But at this point, you just want to send units and shove them down your opponent's throat, because he is in the infrastructure of the Terran base, rallying only 18 Zerglings. Now, the rally has been a bit lacking. Lots of energy on these queens. Looks like there was another drop down here that I missed because I suck at this game, but don't worry about that. And there's just not a lot of larvae coming out. That's one of the main problems right now, is he just isn't making any units. There we go. Now he's got some units down there, but we need to see some injects here, Hash. Hawk. Hawk. Another fungal growth on the Vikings. Still no inject. I feel like Hawk needs to hotkey his queens. If you hotkey your queens, you'll inject right now, but there is no inject. Lots of infested Terrans, tons of infestors too. These infested Terrans gonna kill a lot of buildings, but it seems like all he has to do is just rally some units. Rally some units, dude. Attack. Do something. There's 3 Vikings running out in desperation, not doing anything. One Thor is gonna get taken down by this infested Terran. Still no inject in any base, and this is why the game isn't over yet, is because, well, I guess it's kind of over. It seems like it should be over. Let me just speed this up. Is Terran gonna try to rebuild? Oh my goodness, he is gonna try to rebuild tons of barracks. A ghost academy, and these Vikings making use of those Vikings, man, killing a lot of units, killing a lot of drones. 6 ultras on the way. This is a pet peeve of mine. Like, if you had your queens hotkeyed, Hawk, you would be injecting right now. I don't want to hear an excuse like, well, I have 4 hatcheries, I don't need to inject. No, that's BS. That's BS. Only 1 on each gas, so his macro is slipping considerably right now. But, you know, he's got 7 ultras on the way, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. How are the upgrades? 2-0 upgrades on his melee. And Terran now lifting off. Lots of ultras. Oh my goodness, this is going to be scary to watch. Any chitinous plating? No, no chitinous plating. There's an inject! Oh my god, finally! I disagree with any Zerg player that does not macro their queens. Either macro each queen, or hotkey each queen to a different hotkey, or just stick them all on the same one. Do something, because you really need, like, that's what separates good players from great players, is injecting during battle, building units during battle, doing that kind of stuff, not letting macro slip when you're preoccupied with micro or something else, you know? And really, Hawk, this base should have been dead a lot sooner. The Terran player held out a lot longer than he should have. It looks like Hawk will just clean up. There's not enough time for the Terran to reproduce any kind of infantry army. I'm not sure why the Terran's actually still in the game. There's a lot of Marines stacking up. Oh, nice EMP on these infestors. But there's so many ultras. Oh, these Marines are actually breaking down the rocks. They might kill the eastern base, while the ultras and Zerglings are killing the northern base. Lots of units in the middle being rallied, though. There's the chitinous plating and the adrenal glands. And these Marines are going to kill tons of drones. And a nuclear launch! Oh, is he going to nuke the army? Where is it? Where's the nuke? Oh, it's in the main. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, it's on the army! Oh, no! Run, Hawk! Oh, no! Zerglings toasted for breakfast! I need breakfast! Oh. Is the Terran player actually in this? 111 to 146. He's off 2 bays. He's like switching his bases, but there's just so many ultras. Yeah, I don't think the Terran has a chance. Despite the fail injects, and he only has. Okay, another thing. I've mentioned this before. Another thing hotkeying your queens allows you to do is, as you're switching to your queens, you get to check up on your bases. You get to see, okay, I have too many drones here. Okay, I'm missing some drones on gas. I have too many drones here. You get to, okay, see this dying. And stuff like that. You get to check up on your bases, which is actually more important than people think. Because you can make adjustments like that, like putting guys on gas and stuff like that. So. It's a pretty exciting game. Then goes that expansion. A lot of Zerglings up here just chilling, you know. They're on strike. They're like, you're not gonna inject with the queen! I don't want to attack anyone, asshole! These Vikings produced, in anticipation of more Broodlords. Infested owning the turrets. Right now it's just kind of having fun. Sending units every which way. Infested Terrans doing what they can. Infestors clearly EMP'd recently, or maybe just lots of Infested Terrans, starving them of their energy. And the Terran player, again, being quite stubborn. SCV's all dying. It's got a nice little infantry force, and by nice I mean it's pretty tiny. 3-3. Love it. Love it. 3-3 infantry, that's going to be way more effective than it should be. +3 attack coming in for Hawk. 155 to 51. Terran players still remaining in the game. Hawk now barreling down with one final attempt. Or I guess I shouldn't say attempt, I should say one final attack, because that's all it's really going to need. And the Terran moving out. Is this going to happen? Here we go. One last battle. It's the Alamo. We must defeat the Zerg. Kite. No. Shield goes down. And shields have been penetrated. In a brilliant game.